Hi everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm going to be sharing a little unboxing of this company called Coco in Reno. They are pretty new to me, but you probably have heard of them. They have a subscription kit for some stamps and dies, and they contacted me and I was so interested in checking out their little subscription kit. Now, you can buy this separately. You don't have to be subscribed, but I think it's cheaper if you are subscribed to their kit. So you get these stamp sets that come in this adorable little pouch, and they are so pretty. You have this background stamp set. It's a large one. I think that's a 4x6. And then these are just so pretty. There's a fox and butterflies and moths. I think those are moths, not butterflies. And I'm really, really excited to use them in my spread today. You also get a little bag of dies, and they're not like 2 or 3 dies. That's a lot of dies. Look how many die cuts are in here. I'm just really excited about this. Can't wait to use them. A lot of these dies are similar to the stamp set. So you have the moth and the butterflies, some flowers in there, and a border. Look at that border. That's the same border from the stamp set. So I'm going to be using this to document a photo of my son and his friends. I am really excited about this. I can't wait to use these dies and the stamp sets in my process video. If you want to check out how I use them, I definitely recommend to keep watching. And I will be linking Coco and Reno's link down in the description box. Like I said, they have subscription kits of stamps and dies, and you can buy them separately as well. Okay, guys, let's start working in my traveler's notebook. I'm going to be documenting this 4x8 photo of my son and his friends holding hands, and I thought this pattern was subtle enough. I know I'm going to be using a lot of die cuts, so I want to make sure that I choose a subtle background. I'm going to be stamping beautiful right in the center, and while I was stamping it, my hand slipped. I felt it. I knew it wasn't going to be perfect, and it was not. You can't really see it on camera, but it's a bit smudged, so I just go with it for now. I usually do that when I mess up. I let it go for a little bit and keep working on my spread, and if it's still bothering me, I'll go back and fix it, and I eventually do. But anyways, for now, what I decide to do is trim around my little label. I am not trimming the whole thing off. I'm just cutting through the paper slightly because I was thinking it would be fun to like kind of tuck my die cuts behind the label, and that way it would look like I added that label later, if that makes sense. But you'll see what I mean once I start adding my die cuts. But I'm just trimming a little bit from the sides, and then I'm going to grab some of my dies and start cutting them out. Now, what I thought it would be fun is to add some color, because this is black and white photo, black and white background. So I'm going to go through my scrap paper and just choose a bunch of different colors. I don't have anything in mind. My background is black and white, so everything's going to match. I grabbed my Altenew mini die cut machine. I just recently bought this. I thought I need a mini to sit on my desk instead of going to my large die cut machine. And I'm loving this machine so much. Now, I was doing it all wrong when I was cutting out these dies, and I didn't notice that I had flipped my plates. And for the life of me, I didn't know why I was struggling to cut out my dies. I was thinking, is it the dies? Is it the machine? But I discover later that I had it all wrong, and I had to flip over my plates to cut out these dies. But it's okay, it still was working, but I was kind of struggling. But that's fine, you live and learn. But I'm loving this little machine, and it sits on my desk all the time, and I don't have to go to my larger die cut machine to cut out little small dies like these. Now I'm sticking to floral. I think I do cut out a butterfly, but I want to kind of make it more florally, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to choose all the flowers that came in the pack, and I'm going in between, like, you know, gray paper, yellow paper, pink. I just want to make it colorful and I want this layout to kind of pop. So I'm going back and forth. And I think this is where I find out like, hold on, I'm cutting this the wrong way. I have my plates the wrong way. I fix it. It works much, much better. And I love the results. And I just love all these little dies. They brought so much to my layout. And just going from one color to the other, like choosing different colors of paper to cut these dies was a great idea. Now that I'm done cutting out all these beautiful dies, I'm going to start creating a large cluster around my label. I just want the butterflies and flowers to surround my title and label. So I'm just going to make sure that I tuck some behind it. I add some above the label just to make it look like, again, I added this label from my own stash and it wasn't a part of the pattern. I do make sure that I'm, using all the colors to surround the label. So if I have yellow on one side, I make sure that I add yellow on the opposite side just to balance everything out. I will also be stamping directly around my label and in my cluster. I always feel like when you stamp directly on your spread or around your cluster of dies, it really helps add some depth and mutes down all the colors. Even though my pattern is pretty like basic, but I always like to add black ink, especially that I know that I'm going to be adding a title inside my label with black ink. So you want to balance everything out, and it really, really adds a lot of depth to any cluster once you stamp directly on your spread and on your pattern. Once I think I actually add like a few leaves, and I'll come back in once I finish my cluster and add a few more. I just want to make sure that I'm not overdoing it, and I want to make sure that I have enough. So I stamp a few, I'll go back to my dies, add a few more to the cluster, and then once I'm done adding all my dies, I'll make sure to come back in with my black ink and finish it up. When creating a cluster like this, I recommend to take it easy. So, stamp out a few leaves, add a few dies, and stop. Take a little break, look at your spread, and then add more if you need more, because you can always add, but you can never take away the stamping that you stamped. So that's why I like to stamp, add my dies, stamp again, add more dies. It really helps kind of see how this is going. You don't want to overdo it. You want to keep it simple, but at the same time, you want your cluster to be a cluster, and you don't want it to look like paper on paper and stamping on stamping. So definitely take it easy, don't overstamp, and don't overdo it. I am done with my cluster. I want to fill out my label, so I grab a stamp set from my stash. I'm going to end up stamping Be Wild, Have Fun, and I'll also grab the stamp set from the Coco and Reno kit and stamp out a little flower right next to my title. But that beautiful that I stamped directly on my photo, it's getting under my skin. I don't like how it looks because it's all like smudgy and stuff. So I'm going to fix it. I basically stamp it again on white paper. I'm going to trim it out and cover my boo-boo. I always say this, it's very easy to fix your boo-boos. Never throw your photos or your layouts away. Find a way to fix it, cover it up. And you would never know that I had a little boo-boo there. But anyways, I am almost done. I grabbed my crystal drops because I love using my crystal drops to add texture to any cluster. And I'm going to use some yellow, black, and blue and just add them randomly to my cluster. And then I call my layout done. Don't forget, I always add everything I mentioned, all the links, everything in the description box for you guys. I'm loving this Coco and Reno kit, and if you're interested, I will link it in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye!